A couple of months ago, I met a young man, in his 40s, whose life was crashing down around him. He was crashing his businesses, his relationships were all broken, financially he had moved out of a big house and into a small RV, and that's how I met him next to me. I noticed that he wasn't doing well, and I invited him over for a meal. And one meal turned into two, turned into three, turned into us getting to know one another pretty well, and a very common story for men in midlife who cannot any longer take the pressure of working so hard and finding the emptiness in the material world. I say that to let you know that 40 years ago, August 6, 1978, my family and I were in Youngstown, Ohio for a relative's wedding, and I was running around playing as a 10-year-old boy would do. We packed up all of our stuff and we were flying back to Milwaukee. Now, my dad and my uncle were both pilots, and so we had rented a single-engine plane to fly my sisters and I and my mom and dad home. Well, about 20 minutes into the flight, we heard a loud bang, as you would if you're in a plane, and the power to the propeller stopped. Oil started spewing out all over the windshield, and my heart began to race. As a 10-year-old, of course, concerned that, we don't have any power anymore in the plane, and also a sense of peace knowing that my dad and my uncle were going to do their best to land us safely. My mom, feeling the anxiety rising, reached out for the kids, for my sisters and I, for our hands, and she began to pray, "Our Father, who art in heaven." We joined in, "Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." There's an eerie space of stillness where when you're falling out of the sky, nothing else really matters except those that you love, and all those who I loved were there with me in the plane. I wasn't thinking about my bike or my toys or my gaming system. I wasn't thinking about any of that. I was thinking about, wow, this is it. This could be it. My life could be over. And as we approached the top of the trees, we crashed in a forest much like this one. Tree tops were flying past my head, and then boom, we hit the ground and everybody blacked out. I awoke again to an eerie stillness. I was the first one to come to, and then I noticed my sister moving, and my uncle then nudged my dad, and there was an effort to get us all off of the plane because maybe there was going to be a fire. We didn't know what the fuel situation was like. So we exited the plane. Everybody survived. My mom and my little sister had to spend a little bit of time in the hospital with some internal bleeding, but everybody ended up being preserved. That experience really settled in on the fact that I knew that my life was preserved for a purpose. Now, it's been a 40-year journey since that time for me, and I've built an empire and I've crashed an empire. And I found out that my happiness was not based on the material stuff that I could collect, but rather the relationships that I had, much like the young man that we invited over for a meal. If you're a young man or a middle-aged man or an older man and you're looking for some answers beyond this material promise of happiness, I may be able to help you navigate the waters, the murky waters, when you feel like you're drowning and you need some help. I would love for you to reach out to me if perhaps a message that I've spoken resonates with you, if you know that you have a deeper calling on your life and you find yourself falling. Perhaps I can help you navigate that. My hope and prayer from this message forward is that you find your deep meaning and purpose and your courage to overcome any fear that is interfering in you not stepping into your calling. Please call me. Reach out, send me a message. I'd love to connect with you. Thank you for your kind attention, and may the peace of God fill you with a grounded sense of love and security. And so it is.